as most of the establishment is coming down against Edward Snowden, the leaker in the NSA case, the great majority of Republicans and Democrats, of course, agree that he is very, very dangerous and that the government's always right and you should never do anything that would reveal any of the government's secret information. There is actually one guy who is in the Senate who is fighting back on this issue and apparently has read the Fourth Amendment. His name is Rand Paul. Let's watch.
It invades our privacy, and I'm going to be seeing if I can challenge this at the Supreme Court level. I'm going to be asking all the internet providers and all of the phone companies, ask your customers to join me in a class action lawsuit. If we get 10 million Americans saying we don't want our phone records looked at, then maybe somebody will wake up and say things will change in Washington.
Well, that would be great if that were the case. And he is right about the Fourth Amendment. It says you must get a warrant for a specific person or place to be searched or seized. Instead, they are getting a warrant for all of us at the same time, presuming we're all guilty, collecting all of the information. Now, I know that Democrats will be very upset to ever agree with Rand Paul. This is not agreeing with Rand Paul in his entirety. I'm not agreeing with what he had for lunch when he was in third grade. I'm not agreeing with all of his positions, which I don't agree with. I'm only agreeing with the position I agree with. I know, it's mind-bending. But you know what? Sometimes in a democracy, we might disagree with somebody 80 or 90% of the time, and they might still be right that 10 or 20% of the time. Instead of saying, he's not on my team, he's not on my team, I hate him, you might open your mind a little bit and say, hey, maybe there's an ally that could be helpful here, and someone who respects the Constitution on this issue. I know when he did his stand against the drones, he then later screwed it up by saying, oh, after the Boston bombings, we should use drones in the U.S. I get it, I know. But take your victories where you can find them. You think progressives alone are going to be able to stop the government from spying in on all of us? You haven't been paying attention. If it's just progressives, I got really bad news for you. We stand almost no chance. The Republicans don't give a damn what progressives think. And President Obama couldn't care less what progressives think. He sent Rahm Emanuel to call us fucking retarded. That's Rahm Emanuel's exact words. You think he's going to listen to liberals or Democrats or people who care about the Constitution? And by the way, Obama, on his great little speech that he gave at the National Defense University, you know, our government should be more open. You know that the administration very, very, very likely already knew that this information about the NSA was going to come out because Snowden had already given the information to the Washington Post, and the Washington Post had already sat on it for weeks and weeks. And they had already taken it to the government and saying, can I publish this? Or is there something incredibly dangerous in this that I shouldn't publish, could harm someone? So the Obama administration, when they were giving their great speech on how open the government should be, already knew that there was going to be this massive leak coming out about how the government is not open. But it doesn't matter. If you're on Team Democrat, you must despise Rand Paul and agree with everything so-called Democratic President Obama says. Now, it's not just Rand Paul, it's also Ron Paul. He said, I wish I could say I was shocked at the reports the NSA is secretly spying on the private phone calls of millions of Verizon customers. However, this is a predictable result of a government that continues to erode our liberties while promising some glimmering hope of security. Now, I'm going to, again, flip the Democrats out there. You know who he sounds like there? Benjamin Franklin. I'm not saying he is Benjamin Franklin. I don't know if you know this, Benjamin Franklin's dead. And he's been dead a long time, okay? I'm saying he's right on that issue. I'm not saying he's right about the newsletters he wrote decades ago. And it turns out Snowden was a Ron Paul supporter and actually even donated to Ron Paul. Didn't vote for Obama. Oh, that's it, among the Democrats. He's guilty. He's not on our team. We hate him. He's with the Paul people. Are you crazy? If you actually care about civil liberties and you don't want your government spying in on you, as any progressive in their right mind should be thinking, you've got to have Republicans like the Pauls on your side. Otherwise, they're never going to listen to you. The only way this gets any traction is if the Republicans get mad, the Tea Party gets mad, and all of a sudden they found a copy of the Constitution. They go, oh, did you know what the government's been doing? Yeah, I know what the government's been doing and how they shredded the Fourth Amendment because I reported on it during the Bush administration when you loved it, when you didn't mind it. But hey, you're late to the party, welcome, because we need everybody at this party in order to fight back effectively. if we don't fight back effectively, they're going to spy on you now, they're going to continue to do the program, and then it's going to get broader and broader. And PRISM, which largely applies to the non-U.S. areas. By the way, if you're a U.S. person and you're on vacation anywhere outside the country, oh, we got your emails and your correspondence and all that as well. And by the way, oops, we collected $3 billion of that every single month in the U.S. according to March alone, that data. And then why stop at $3 billion? Hey, you know, they let us get away with this. Why not just get all your emails and your web searches on a regular basis? Why not target with people we don't like? Hey, look, we found a crime. We found a crime. It turns out you were smoking pot. Are you or are you not guilty? And if you're not guilty, there's nothing to worry about, right? And then when we come and say, hey, why didn't you fight with us? Well, I didn't like what Ron Paul said 20 years ago, and I thought Rand Paul was, you know, on the wrong team, and so I just kind of let Obama take those rights away from us. Yeah, brilliant move. That's not what any liberal or any progressive, if they actually had a shred of principle, would ever do. They would join forces and they would fight back by any means necessary, not violent, by any political means necessary, to make sure we protected the Fourth Amendment.